Welcome to the It Doesn't Hold Up podcast. We review and reevaluate all things we remember fondly from our childhood and years prior to see if they still hold up. And more often than not, they probably don't. I'm Stuart Shepherd, along with my co-host and good friend, Michael Smith. Smith, how are you doing?
I'm feeling very festive, Stu. How are you?
I'm also feeling festive because, yes, it's the season of goodwill and it's our last episode of 2024. Yay!
Not really. We recorded this in June.
Shut up, Smith!
I'm fucking boiling.
Yeah. God, why are we wearing these hats?
Oh, the jumper.
Oh, yes. So this is our Christmas themed episode, second year in a row. But before we get on to said nomination, just want to talk about last episode's feedback, which was Batman Forever. Now, we actually received a ton of feedback for this. So, yeah, in no particular order, I'm going to read it out. First of all, it's a magic film. Sure, sure.
What, in what way? Like in a Paul Daniels way, or in
Now
like
that's
a
magic.
you like it? Not a lot. No, you were right. You were right there.
I
Not a
don't
lot.
know. I don't know. No other context, and it's a magic film. Then from our friends Two Wizards podcast, they said, great episode as always. The take of, if you look at it like the 60s show, it's good, has been the foundation of why the George Clooney, Arnold Schwarzenegger is the best of the 90s Batman. Keep up the good work. Thanks, guys. Thanks for listening. Appreciate that. Another piece of feedback we got was pure camp and bad at it in many places. It's a kids' movie with adult themes and content, but dated with what can be done now. And then the final bit of feedback, which really tickled me, was you do realize that episode was longer than the actual film.
Just yes. I didn't receive any direct feedback because people know better than to talk to me about Batman. Um,
Even shit, Batman.
yeah, just don't get me on it, right? If you see me in a bar quietly drinking, leave me be.
Fair point. Yes, and quite rightly so. That was our longest episode yet, so I don't think we need to discuss Batman Forever any further.
That's a shame. I had a 10-point discussion plan for the rest of this episode.
Oh dear. Well, maybe we'll do a Patreon episode. We're not going to do a Patreon
Ah,
episode. Right. Anyway, so let's move on. So this episode's nomination is National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Now, this came from me. So I did want to do Jingle All the Way, but then me and Smith kind of realized that Jingle All the Way is kind of cool. So it'd just be a waste of an episode. But yeah. So a brief synopsis. It's actually the third in the series of the Griswold family adventures.
mm,
Now, I sort of knew this, but didn't know this. So technically, this is the second sequel that we've done. So this is the third one in a row. So we've had National Lampoon's Vacation, National Lampoon's European Vacation, and National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. And this time, rather than being a fish out of water, it's about the Griswold family having a family Christmas at home, and hijinks ensues. Yeah. Okay.
have you seen the other ones?
I've seen European Vacation, and I actually quite like European Vacation. However, not seen it for years, so maybe we need to revisit that. Never seen
So
the
you
original Vacation.
you really? So you started with number two,
Hmm.
or did you
Yep.
start with number three and then go back and watch number two?
No, two, then three, and never seen the first one.
Actually, I've seen the first three. I've not seen the fourth or the fifth.
What's is the fourth the one with Ed Helms in it?
Vegas. No, the fourth one's no, the sixth then. So the fourth one's Vegas Vacation,
Ah,
with Chevy Chase. The fifth one is I want to say it's Christmas Vacation 2, but that stars
okay.
Randy Quaid.
Mm.
And then the sixth one, which is the sort of loose remake with Ed Helms. I've seen that as well. I've seen that. Yeah, I've seen the 2015
Bloody
Vacation
hell.
film.
That's a lot of vacation
Um,
movies.
I haven't seen Vegas or Christmas Vacation 2. I
Hmm.
should probably go and correct that at some point and watch them. But yeah.
Yeah, you can. Right. Anyway, so now this is interesting. This came out in America on the 1st of December 1989, but we in the UK never got a cinema release of this. We didn't get it until home video release, 1st of November 1990, a whole year later, which is bizarre.
Straight to video. Ooh, blimey. Is this our first
Yeah,
straight to video?
it could
It
well
might
be.
be.
It could well be.
I mean, I can see that, right? Because I don't think Chevy Chase is necessarily the kind of property that travels particularly well from the States to everywhere else in the world. It's a very American film. It's a little bit like when people talk about classic Christmas films, they say Christmas Story. That's a very American answer.
Yeah,
I don't think you'd be hard pressed to find many British people that have a Christmas Story high on their list of favorite Christmas films. I mean, come at me in the comments if I'm wrong there, but I've never seen it.
I've kind of seen it, but I've never sat down and watched it start to finish.
It
But
looks shit.
yeah, it does. But yeah, now because this falls in a weird era of is it 1989, 1990, and we never really got it, we're not going to do scene set this year because we've already done it before with Tango and Cash. So Smith had a wonderful idea of what we're going to do, and with it being Christmas and all, we're going to do something a bit different. So take it away, Smith. What are we doing?
in the spirit of the season, I thought what we would do, rather than a quiz and rather than just talking about the horrors of 1990 or 1989 again, would be to discuss what our favorite Christmas films are. So, Stu, I think I'd throw it to you and say, do you want to give me your top five? So these are films that will never appear on this podcast because
Yep.
they're good, and we know they're good, and we watch them every single year.
Okay.
There is a reason why there's certain ones like the one we're about to review that don't fall into that category, but these are ones that we would watch every single year without fail. So, what are your top five festive films?
Yeah, fair enough. So the first one I absolutely have to watch every single Christmas Eve is The Muppet Christmas Carol. That will never, ever, ever go on this podcast ever because I just think it gets better every time I watch it.
It's a
Uh,
fantastic film. And I tell you what really sells it is the fact that Michael Caine plays that film completely straight.
he does.
He doesn't mug for the puppets. He doesn't act like he's in a silly Muppets film. No, no. He is completely down the line straight, and it completely works with that film.
Yeah. Apparently, though, behind the scenes, him and Kermit had a terrible relationship, but yeah, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
I, I don't like him. He's a little prick. Oh, hey, well,
He's not,
you're no picnic yourself, mister.
you're not taking this seriously. Anyway, yes.
Look, I won an Oscar. Have you won an Oscar? Well, actually, yes. Shut up, you dirty little puppet. Anyway, sorry.
Anyway, sorry, we digress. Yeah, Muppet Christmas Carol, Die Hard, obviously.
Yep, it is a
Then
Christmas film. Anyone who says it isn't, well,
yeah,
no,
shut up.
bullshit.
Shut up. But then if you're going down that route, you could say Lethal Weapon's a Christmas movie. Technically, Die Hard 2 is a Christmas movie. But anyway,
I don't really like Lethal Weapon all that much.
I do. But anyway, we're going off on a
It's
tangent. So
fine.
yes, Muppet Christmas Carol, Die Hard, Scrooged. Scrooge will never go. Someone recommended it for this podcast. They said, "Oh, can you cover Scrooge?" Like, no, Scrooge holds up. Scrooge really
It's a
good.
great film. Watch it every year.
Yeah.
Now, I'll tell you what though, what I wouldn't do, because I remember I once went to the Prince Charles Cinema in
Hmm.
Leicester Square in London, which
Yep.
if no one has ever been there, go there. It's fantastic. They do all-nighters and they did a Christmas all-nighter, and I went to watch Christmas all-nighter. And what they did was they put it was various ones on the list, but they had um Muppets Christmas Carol and Scrooged and put them back to back.
That's silly. That's
Don't
really
do
silly
that.
doing that. At least do it like start and finish or something
Yeah,
like that.
right.
You know, yeah,
But I know they
that's daft.
finished with Elf, which
Okay.
I fucking hate.
I like Elf. It's not on my top five, though. So yeah, to recount, so it's Muppet Christmas Carol, Die
Yep,
Hard,
yep.
Scrooged, and then Home Alone and Home Alone 2. So
Oh,
those are the
double Home
five.
Alone.
Yeah, I love Home Alone 1 and 2. One is not better than the other. I like them both equally as much. I think they both work, even though the second one's kind of a loose retelling of the first. But yeah, so that's my five.
I had
Yeah,
somebody recently trying to convince me that the second one was better than the first one. I just won't have it. I just won't have it.
I think they're just as good as each other. So I couldn't pick you a favorite one. If you First one works fine by itself, but I just like what the second one does. So yeah.
I enjoy the second one. Again, I wouldn't watch them back to back because they're quite similar.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
He
Maybe one
learns he
Christmas Eve,
learns
one
the
Christmas Day.
same lesson he learned the year before, which he then miraculously forgot in the space of a year.
But so his family. His family realized, oh, we're kind of really hard on him. We're a real shitbag. We're going to be a better family next year. We're not a better family.
I think that's true of most people.
Yeah.
Christmas is a time for reflecting. We all sit there. We think, you know what, I'm going to be a better person next year. I'm going to be a better version of me. And it is 3 weeks before I am sitting in a dark room crying with a bottle of whiskey in my lap.
Amen. Right. Now you. What about your top five that will
Ah,
never ever appear
my
on this
top five.
podcast?
I think there's going to be some overlap, I think, but we'll try and kind of distance out, and I'll try and pick some ones that you haven't picked. But I think all the ones that you've picked would be right up there for me.
Hmm.
I probably wouldn't necessarily put Home Alone 2 in there, but
Okay.
okay.
Fine.
Um, Taking a slightly different lens on it, Black Christmas, the original
Oh,
1970s Bob Clark film.
okay.
What have you ever seen Black Christmas?
I found it tedious, but yeah. Okay. Cool.
What? Oh, it's great. It's like the father of modern slashers. What are you talking about?
All right.
It's
It's
a
fine.
great
It's your
film.
list. It's not my list.
Right,
It's your list.
right,
Go on.
my list. Not the remake though. That's either of them. They're not good. It's a Wonderful Life.
Oh God, yeah, yeah. That is really
Complete
good.
pivot. Love that
Yeah.
film.
Masterpiece. Yeah.
It's a Wonderful Life. I every year I do watch Krampus.
Yeah.
It's the sort
Krampus
of
is
it's
good.
sort of yeah.
Yeah.
It's the most recent one to make it onto my every year list. But
Hmm.
Krampus is really really effective
Yeah, I like it.
Christmas horror. So
Hmm.
it's by Michael Dougherty. Have you ever seen Trick or Treat?
Hmm.
That's his Halloween film, which is my every year Halloween film as well. So
Yeah.
he has a couple of films that make it on my every year list. Okay, so there's that Black Christmas, It's a Wonderful Life, Krampus,
Two more.
Gremlins,
Yeah. Gremlins.
Gremlins,
That's a good shout.
maybe Gremlins. I don't know. Um, I do like the Alistair Sim version of Scrooge, where it's Christmas Carol,
Hmm.
the old black and white Alistair Sim one. That's a really good watch as well. Miracle on 34th Street's really good.
Yep.
Nightmare
Well,
Before
the
Christmas.
Richard Attenborough one, the remake.
Either,
Yeah, yeah.
actually. They both
hmm
got their charms. I've come around as I've got older on um, Nightmare Before Christmas. I didn't
Oh
like it when I was younger, but I've
no,
come around on it as I've got older.
no, I don't like
Um,
it. I don't like it at all. I like it as a Halloween movie, but as soon as it starts getting to Christmas territory, I was like, no, I don't like this now.
all right. Well, putting that all aside, then and going back to the
hmm
actual list, then I would say what else would I have there? I would put. Oh, I thought something has gone. Oh no! I had something.
Don't worry,
Oh,
it's fine.
Santa Claus the movie. No,
No, no, no, no. We both agreed that didn't
not
hold
Santa
up.
Claus the movie. Um, oh God, what was it? I just thought of it there.
Wasn't
It's
Jingle All the Way, was it?
no, 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 not Jingle All the Way. No, no, God, no, God, no, that's fine. But it's on Netflix. It's really, actually, really modern. Klaus.
Klaus. Have I seen Klaus? I'm not sure. Maybe I
Now,
have.
if you haven't, I as soon as we're done here, go downstairs, Netflix, find it.
Okay.
It's absolutely wonderful.
All right. Say no more. I'll go in cold and watch it. Cool.
And then the final one, probably, oh, I don't know.
Sure. I'm sure you've done five already, but
Yeah,
okay.
no, I've done loads. I've done loads, but I
No,
was
it was
going
only
off list.
five, but
I was going off list, wasn't I? No, Gremlins. I'll stick with Gremlins.
okay, cool. So between us, we've got like Muppet Christmas Carol, Die Hard, Home
All the
Alone,
classics.
Gremlins, Scrooge, It's a Wonderful Life. Yeah, so
Yeah,
sorry, folks. Those ones will never come on this podcast because they are classics.
they're all fantastic films. And it's good because I think I probably watch those films more than I watch any other film because I watch most of them at least once a year.
Yeah, 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 totally.
You sort of think, oh, it's Christmas. I can watch Die Hard again.
Yeah, I feel dirty like watching some of these movies if it's not Christmas. Like Die Hard, I can watch because it is a Christmas movie, but you can get away with it. But I'm not watching the Muppet Christmas Carol in like July. That's weird,
Yeah,
So yeah, no,
yeah, but it's weird that you get films like that. You got like Christmas films and Halloween films where you watch sort of
yeah.
every year. You don't have like, oh, June 17th, Predator Day.
Maybe it should be Predator Day. Right. So let's go back to this film, Christmas Vacation. So
Mm,
now I don't know about you, Smith, but this is the kind of falls in the same territory as Santa Claus the movie for me. So it's one of these ones. I know I've seen it as a kid. It was on the telly a lot, but it wasn't one like a Gremlins or a Die Hard or something like I gravitated towards. It was kind of oh, it's on in the background and you recognize some scenes,
yeah.
but I couldn't pinpoint it when. So I might have been about what 6, 7, 8 when it was on telly. It was definitely on like ITV
Wow.
or something like that. And that's the
Yeah.
first time I remember watching it. So it wasn't a video rental, but it wasn't cinema because it never came out in cinema. So
Mm.
it was at some point over on TV, probably on Christmas Eve or on the run up to it. So what about you? What was your first experience with this film?
Well, my first experience with this film, I got a very, very strong memory of seeing it in Blockbuster Video. The front cover
Yeah.
of the
Remember
VHS
the
of
front
him
cover? Yeah.
in the Santa outfit, covered in lights, being electrocuted, vivid in my memory. I don't believe I actually saw the film until I was a teenager. I don't think I saw it when I was
Interesting.
a kid. I thought I was a little bit older when I first saw it, and it would have been on TV, probably on Sky, probably on a like random Saturday afternoon when I was
Mm.
just flicking around channels. So my memories of it are not particularly strong. It is not one of those films that stuck in memory. It's certainly not one of those films like the Muppets, like the
Yeah.
other ones you mentioned that you watch every year that stick, that kind of made a big impression.
Yeah, which is weird because European Vacation, I watched that as a young kid. I watched that with my dad, and I watched all of that all the way through, and I've seen it a few times. And I that some of those scenes of that movie are burned into my brain, but this one is very hazy, and I wonder why. I'm like, why did I gravitate more to European Vacation? Maybe I like the fact Americans are in Europe. Oh, look, they're in London. Haha, that's funny. Rather than this Christmas movie, I don't know why.
Well, I've only seen the first two once each.
hmm
Um, I think I watched them both on the same day. I think I literally just had a digital copy of them and just watched the first one and then watched the second one. I had nothing better to do in my life.
There you go. All right, cool. All right, so kind of hazy memories of us watching it and different ages, but would have been probably on telly when we watched it. Cool. Right. Shall we get into the inverted commas plot?
Oh yes, the plot.
The plot. Cool. Right. So my first takeaway immediately is that there's an animated credits, right? And
Yeah.
it's Santa doing like oh crazy stuff, almost like that Dick Van Dyke bit in Family Guy when he like falls in at the oven and gets burned and knives going in, that sort of thing. But also we get this catchy Christmas song, and it's not the one we got for the other two movies, Holiday Row. And I love
Oh.
that song. I was like,
Yeah,
oh, it doesn't
I,
start
I
with
put
that.
that. I did say this song is really missing Lindsey Buckingham's Holiday Road. This
Yeah,
is not as good a song as that song. And apparently Lindsey Buckingham was offered a chance to write the song for this, but didn't take it. Lindsey Buckingham was in Fleetwood Mac, but
yeah,
he was offered the chance to write the song, and he said no because he didn't just want to be yeah, sort of a theme tune writer
yeah.
for films.
It's a shame because, and I've gone back and watched the beginning credits of European Vacation. It's really good. It's all like the passports getting stamped with that tune over the top. And yeah, this is missing it. You just get some shitty animation of Santa doing crazy stuff, delivering presents to the Griswold's house.
So that was big at the time, animated openings, because I think the Honey I Shrunk the Kids came
Yes,
out roughly
it
the same
does.
time, and that had
Yeah,
an
yeah,
animated opening
that's
as
right.
well. So it was kind of a thing they were doing at the time. What they should have done is just had Holiday Road and just put some jingle bells over the top of it.
There you go.
That's what they usually do. Just a regular song with some sleigh bells, just like jingling occasionally
Lazy.
to make you know it's Christmas.
Yeah, but no, we don't get that at all. So after animated credits, we get the Griswolds in the car singing Christmas songs and are on their way to get a Christmas tree. Now this time, because they keep recasting the kids every time, it's Johnny Galecki and Juliette Lewis playing Rusty and Audrey. Like,
Yeah.
fuck, I forgot Johnny Galecki was in this movie. He's
Wait,
so young.
it makes it even worse that in the 2015 when they cast Ed Helms as Rusty, Johnny Galecki would have been in the right age
Yeah,
and was quite a big TV star in The Big Bang Theory. Now, I'm not a fan of that show, but come on, it's right there.
maybe he just didn't want to. So I don't want to be reminded that I
No,
was in
no,
that
no,
movie.
no, 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 no. They did not. They didn't want to. They didn't offer it to him.
Yeah, yeah. There you go. So yeah, they're singing to Christmas carols or whatever, and yeah,
I
immediately
was
we
like,
get. Go
sorry, I just think just the opening shot was come from this bright animation with like all this crazy zany stuff happening to a brown car driving down a brown road. It's the most bland opening shot of a film I've seen in quite some time.
Yeah, but it starts getting all high speed chase, and like some of the shit that's in this movie is just so out of context. It's just like, where does this come from? You know, because immediately the songs get interrupted by a pickup truck behind them, and he's trying to intimidate them, and then immediately Chevy Chase's character Clark just flips off the car, and then the car overtakes them. They start getting into like almost a crash. I'm like, what's going on here? Why don't you just let this dude overtake? What's the
All
problem?
I've written down here is this supposed to be funny?
No, none of it
Because
is.
it's not funny. It's happening. I was watching it like, okay,
Yeah, it's just all too much, and it's not funny at all. Because then he doesn't realize he's gone underneath like a log truck, like a Final Destination 2 type log truck. Like what? How does that happen?
that's exactly what I thought. So I was like, oh,
Yeah,
Final Destination 2,
gonna be
the
watching
best
Final
one.
Destination 2. And then his wife Ellen's praying that they don't crash, and then they manage to swerve, but then they always hit a tractor and then go flying into the snow into a field. It was like, this film has literally been on for 90 seconds, and there's already been chaos. You know, there's no easing you in; it just throws you in balls deep.
Mm.
Yeah,
Well, I'm assuming they snowball steep. I mean, I'm
yeah.
assuming that they expect that you're familiar with the setup.
True, it's the third one in the row, isn't it? So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Let me see the Griswolds are hiking for ages to the snow to get a real Christmas tree in the woods. Like, why would you do this? And even Juliet Lewis says, like, why don't we just get a fake one? Why are we doing this? You
I'm
know?
also pretty sure the long shot they were using in the ADR the dialogue recording meant that none of the actual actors were doing that walk.
Oh no, 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 no.
No, 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 no. Those were stunt people.
And also, are you allowed to just go down and hack down a tree in the woods? Like, I can understand
No,
if they were going to a proper tree selling place that's pre-cut trees down.
but
Can you
no,
really just go hack a tree down?
no, but they say when they crash the car, there's a sign that says trees
Mm,
that they knock over, and so there's a deleted scene. And I don't think the deleted scenes for this have ever been released. I can't find them ever.
okay.
Of them haggling with the owner of the tree lot to go and cut down the tree.
Oh,
He was saying that
okay.
yeah, there's a haggling moment, and then he gives them a shovel rather than an axe. So
Yeah,
it's
because
meant to be, yeah, there's meant to be another scene between
right.
the end of this sequence and the beginning of the next one that you just don't see.
I don't think you need it. It's fine
You
what
didn't need
happens.
it.
Yeah, yeah.
It wouldn't have been funny even if you did.
Yeah, and no, it's funny you've mentioned that because yeah, Clark doesn't have a saw, but he's got a shovel. So yeah, they just uproot it instead. And this tree's absolutely massive. And for some reason, Clark, I don't know if you noticed, it starts talking in the lisp because Juliet Lewis is all cold, and Ellen says, "Oh
Yeah,
look, she can't
yeah,
speak. Her eyes are frozen." And then he starts talking like that. Like, why are you talking like that? And it's never
not a
paid
clue.
off.
I'm, I'm sure it does have one funny line where Beverly D'Angelo, who's quietly one of the best things in this
Yeah, she
film,
is.
just the way she delivers her lines. She'll see it later, honey. Her eyes are frozen.
Yeah,
That's quite a funny line.
yeah. There are a couple of good lines in it, but not many. Uh,
There are two people who kind of brighten up the film. One of them is Beverly D'Angelo. The other I will come to when he arrives.
you're not going to say Randy Quaid.
Oh, Randy Quaid, yeah,
Oh
he's the best
no,
thing in this film
he
by a
was annoying
mile.
the piss out of me in this film.
No, what are you
Oh
talking
no,
about?
no, no,
Oh
no,
no,
no.
I completely disagree. He's the best thing in it by a mile.
All right, well. We'll discuss when he turns up. Anyway, so the Griswolds have driven the tree back home on top of the car. They've managed to rope it. It's like, no, that would destroy your car, but whatever. And then we meet their yuppie neighbours, Todd and Margot. Now, they are presented as the villains of this film. It's like they haven't done anything
No,
wrong at any point. Why are they
they're
con
just a bit snobby. And to be fair, Clark Griswold is an arse. I mean, I did think they turned up in their fucking horrible car. They're like,
Oh
their
yeah.
yuppie car, it's fucking horrible. Um, Also, two things. One, right, so Julie Louis-Dreyfus. This is why I thought she was in Beethoven,
Ah, because it's a similar character.
because it's a similar character to the
Yeah,
Beethoven
okay.
characters. It's a little less obviously villainous, but this is why I thought she was in Beethoven. It's this. Um, and you could cut her and Todd out and
Yeah.
not lose a single thing. They have
No.
no purpose in this film.
No, there's no payoff at the end or anything. They
No,
just their house gets fucking ruined by Clark at
I
every
mean, I dare
step.
say, with the exception of maybe one shot, I don't think they're actually on screen with any of the other characters at
No,
any point.
they're not.
It's
They're
only
not.
that one bit where she goes to the front door, and even
Yeah.
then, I don't think you even see them together. She
No.
probably didn't even film stuff while they were all there. It was weird.
Really weird. And yeah, during all this, Clark's got a chainsaw and a hockey mask to carve. She's like, "Why are you wearing a hockey mask? Are you trying to do some? Oh, like I'm like a horror character type thing. I don't get why he's wearing the hockey mask. The chainsaw I get, but why the hockey mask?" And
Yeah, it's a Friday the 13th reference. It's exactly what it is.
but Jason doesn't have a chainsaw. You've just mashed up two characters together there.
I think what you're doing is giving them a little bit too much credit, which is weird because it's written by John Hughes.
Well, yeah, that shocked me as well. I was like, John Hughes has written some really good stuff. It's like with this, he's like, "Pff, Gordon, you know?
Well, I read about this, so apparently he didn't want to do it unless he could get a decent story, and he found an old thing he'd written, like an old article
Yeah,
he'd written about Christmas, and then he took that off to make this. But it's like, he probably shouldn't have, mate. Probably should have just left it.
should have just left it. Yeah." And then there's a really weird line. So Todd says to Clark, "Oh, where are you going to put that tree?" He says, "Bend over, I'll show you." He goes, "You can't talk to me like that." He goes, "I wasn't talking to you." I'm like, "Wait, are you insinuating you're going to stuff that tree up Margot?" I'm like, what? What the It
Yeah,
worked when Todd was being insulting. Why are you directing it towards Margot?
yeah. She didn't say anything. She just stood there. You made it weird.
Yeah, and they just go like, "Ugh," and they go in the house. I was like, "No, you still haven't done anything wrong. It's still
No, he's
Clark. He's
still,
a dick."
yeah, no, yeah, he's being a dickhead.
Yeah. And then he's brought it in the tree for some reason, and it's far too big. And then as he starts trimming it, it typically smashes the windows. Oh, one bit was funny when there's a lot of sap. There's a lot of sap. There's a lot of sap. Because the next scene, him and Ellen are in bed, and he's reading a magazine. It just keeps on tearing off, where he's got all that sap on his
Yeah.
fingers. That bit was very, very funny. And then Ellen says to Clark, "Yeah, her family are coming too," and he's happy they're all together. And he's like, "Oh, when have I ever ruined anything?" She just starts reeling off everything that he's ruined. It's like Christmas, Easter's, birthdays, anniversary. And as he kisses her to say goodnight, he like grabs hold of her hair because of the sap. Yeah, for me, that whole scene was very, very funny.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll agree with you there. Beverly Adlo
This
is
is,
very good at this.
yeah, she's very good. She's very, very good. Yeah.
And also, why does she keep calling him Sparky? Like she keeps on cutting between calling him Clark and Sparky. Like,
Actually,
was
it
he
was just
known?
his nickname.
But why is he called Sparky? Why is that his
I
nickname?
don't know. It might be explained in the previous
True,
films, but I
true.
can't remember them well enough, and I didn't bother going back and rewatching all three of them to
No,
sit through this one.
no, no,
I
no.
could barely be asked to watch this.
Yeah, no. In my mind, they're complete standalone characters. Although Eddie, who turns up later, is apparently in the first one, which I haven't seen. But anyway,
Mm, he
right
is.
now, every time they want to make a point of what point in December it is, it keeps cutting to a very cool looking advent calendar, and the door opens, and it says it's the 14th. I was like, okay, I'm all right with that, but I'm going to cut myself something in a minute. So we're in Clark's office, and then oh yeah, this whole thing takes place in Chicago, and
They
Clark's
said
chat.
that appeared to be filmed at. I mean, is it filmed in Chicago? That
It's
cut
not
scene.
filmed
It's
in Chicago, but it's based in
no.
Chicago.
It's filmed in California, but the intercut bit, and I might be wrong here, but the intercut bit I think looked a bit like kind of Rockefeller Plaza. You
See,
know, it
I
cuts to the
thought that.
city. I was like, is that Rockefeller Plaza? Because
No,
that looks very familiar.
no, it's supposed to be Chicago. That's why he's always wearing that Chicago Bears hat.
Oh yeah.
So
No,
yeah,
I
yeah.
get it was supposed to be Chicago, but I just wondered if they'd bothered just going, oh look, here's some New York. Probably not.
I
I
think
probably just
people
don't
would
know my
notice.
American geography well enough.
No, I don't. But no, it's definitely supposed to be in Chicago, even that wasn't filmed in Chicago.
Hmm.
Yeah, so we're at his office, and Clark's chatting with that bloke from Friends. On, oh, that's the guy who keeps going, Bing! Slapping
Yeah,
Bing's ass. I love that guy. He's in
Sam
King of
McMurray.
Queens as well.
I know him from Adam's Family Values.
Oh, it's been a minute since I watched that film. But
That
yeah,
film's great.
probably another one we won't cover in this podcast
No, we
because
won't.
you really like it. You
I
really
won't
like
have
it.
it.
Yeah. And they're talking about bonuses, and it's always crazy that, in America, like or I don't know if they still do now, but it was a real point of contention when it like getting a massive bonus at Christmas. I was like, God, I'd love that with my firm. They gave you like, I
Yeah,
don't know, 15 grand at Christmas or some shit, but yeah.
I think it's weird this, right? So first of all, I wrote down, oh, would it be a shame if he somehow didn't get his bonus that he's banging
Yeah.
on about? Um, the idea that you not only would expect it, that you would rely on it,
Yeah.
that you would spend money you don't have in anticipation of it,
Which
makes
we
it
find out
very
later.
hard to be sympathetic to you.
Yeah, it's a bit
There's bits where
irresponsible.
the whole thing is like he's irresponsible financially in his massive house.
Yeah.
Like it's really hard when what you're saying is how I need to feel sorry for this man is because he cannot afford to put in a swimming pool. I'm like,
Yeah.
right.
Which you didn't need.
That's not the end of the fucking world now, is it?
No. No, no, no. Yeah, and that's exactly what he starts telling that bloke from Friends. He's going to get a pool in his garden. And yeah, silly. And then
Maybe
straight
that when
away,
his mate says, "Oh, you're the last true family man," it's like I think we're about to prove in about one scene that is not true
oh yeah,
in a scene that is repeated in all of the other films.
yeah. And it's a horribly problematic scene, which we'll come to. But yeah.
Hmm.
So at this point, along comes the big boss, which is Mr. Shirley. I was like, oh, it's that bloke from Wayne's World, a Groundhog Day. So,
Brian Doyle Murray, Bill
yeah.
Murray's brother.
Is it really?
Yeah,
I did not know that.
yeah, it's Bill Murray's brother.
Yeah, and I did not know that is a line from Wayne's World. Oh yeah. There you go. Yeah, so he wants a report of that vanish that Clark's working on. I was like, what is his job? Is he like an
He works in
advertiser or
cereal.
something?
He
He
works
works
in
in...
cereal.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So he's making something that you put on cereal that means the milk won't soak into it.
Got it. But works on cereal. But as an
Varnish.
advertiser or actually
No, actually,
a
product development.
manufacturer? Right,
Yeah,
okay, okay.
manufactured product development. So you'd put the varnish on the cereal, then when you put the milk on the milk will be around the cereal but wouldn't soak into it, so you don't get soggy cereal. So your cereal, that's as I understood it. I've thought too much about this because it's a bad
Well,
idea.
because later on, oh no, we'll come to it later on. We won't spoil it now. Yeah, and he says he wants a report on it, and then Clark really starts sucking up to him, saying, "Oh, I hope you're going to get my Christmas card and that sort of thing." It's the funny bit when all the colleagues start walking away with the boss. He's like, Merry Christmas, kiss my ass, kiss his ass, Happy Hanukkah." He just comes out here, kiss my ass, kiss his ass. But yeah,
This is the
um,
thing I don't. This is the thing I don't find funny. This is Chevy Chase, and that bit of him I don't find funny. It's like just being a smarmy dickhead, and
yeah,
and being a smarmy dickhead with no redeeming features. It's not like he's a nice guy. He's not a nice guy. He's a dickhead. He's a dickhead who thinks he's a nice guy.
yeah.
He
He's
thinks
dressed up
he's
as
in
this
the right.
wholesome all-American dad. It's like, no, you're not. You're just a
No,
dickhead.
he's a dickhead.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe that's the point, and I'm just not getting it. But I don't think it is. I think they're trying to have it both ways.
Yeah, because if I'm reading that right, the people he's saying Merry Christmas to, he's sucking up to the ones he's saying kiss my arse to, like he can't stand them. So he's
I'm assuming. I'm assuming what he's doing is saying it in a way that he doesn't think they're listening, or that they won't
oh,
understand what
okay,
he
okay,
said.
okay. Fine, fine, fine.
Like when you say, "Oh, fuck you very much." Um,
Yeah, okay. Just ain't quick enough. Yeah.
yeah, which I would never do.
No, no. Then we get a really weird bit. It's so uncomfortable and it goes on forever. He's in a department store, presumably buying underwear for his wife Ellen, and he's flirting with that store clerk who's wearing a really low cut top. And he just keeps making every pun under the sun about her breasts being on display and adultery and this, that, and the other. I could have forgiven it for a couple of jokes, but it goes on for about 20 jokes. Like, look, enough, please,
Yeah,
enough.
it serves no purpose other than they had these jokes and wanted to fit them in somewhere. So I've written it down. There he goes, trying to cheat on his wife again, because he does it in the other two films as well. And maybe he doesn't in European. He definitely does in Vacation.
In European,
And
he accidentally gets into the wrong bed for some woman. This other woman won't let him leave, which is quite funny. Yeah, I don't remember him cheating on European. I don't know if he's done it in Vacation.
he doesn't cheat on her, but he's like fantasizing about other women and
Right. Okay.
like pretending he's not married and all of that kind of stuff. Where it's like,
Yeah.
so that's hard to sympathise with you, mate.
Yeah. Exactly. And then even at this point, his son Rusty comes in and catches him like that, and then Clark panics. And I was like, and then there's no payoff. It's not like he goes, "Dad, I'm really disappointed in you," or goes back and tells the mum. There's nothing. It's just like,
No,
oh, this is just acceptable dad
there's never
behavior.
any payoff to any of this stuff.
Yeah. So not good. We're back at the house, and Rusty's watching It's a Wonderful Life, and that reminds us that we could be watching that film instead.
Well, this is what I mean. I've said this before. Don't do that. Films shouldn't do that, right? Films shouldn't show clips of better films
Yeah.
because it's just like I could be watching that instead, and that would be a better use of my time than this. Um, little interesting connection here. The assistant director on this, I think third assistant director, is Frank Capra the third, who is the grandson of Frank Capra, who directed It's a Wonderful Life.
You're going to burn up your Smith trivia. But yes, this that is an
Ah, I got
interesting
other
fact.
stuff.
That's good. That's good. Oh yeah, and at this point, the doorbells are rings, and it's Clark's family, and they're all here, and one of them is Ray Romano's mother. I was like, ah.
Hmm.
um, and this comes back to what I said about the Advent calendar. It's the 14th of December.
Yeah,
Why have
I
they
took
all
that.
come so early to stay? That's over a week.
Do you know when you go to your relatives on Christmas, Christmas Eve? That's when you go to your relatives, or Christmas Day.
Yeah, and then you typically either go home Christmas night and come back Boxing Day, or you stay over maybe one night and fuck off Boxing Day. You don't stay for 10 days.
I
Jesus.
fuck off the day after Boxing Day so I can get drunk.
Yeah, but 2 days max, right? Why would you stay
Yeah.
for a week and a half?
Why, how would you afford to feed a family of that many
Ugh.
people for a week and a half?
Yeah, you can't exactly say to your family, oh, yeah, can you know, chuck us a few quid for staying? It's like, no, not really, because then it probably works. You'll go to their house the next year and so on and
Yeah,
so
yeah,
forth.
yeah,
But,
yeah.
oh, good God. The kids are forced to share rooms so family can stay. And like all of this is just my nightmare. I'm like, if there's about 10 people in my house for a week and a half, I'm like, no, 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 I can't stand
There's
this.
another bit later on where I turned my mother off and watched when Stuart will be hating this.
Yeah.
He'll be
Oh, God.
absolutely hating it.
Hating it. Yeah, no, just nightmare. Yeah, Clark starts decorating the house outside with the lights with Rusty, and then we get the neighbours disapproving and they wish death upon Clark. They say something like, "I hope he
I
falls off and breaks his neck."
was like, yeah, that arsehole with his ladder. What's he doing out there?
Putting up Christmas lights.
I mean, to be fair, he puts up too many fucking Christmas lights.
Yeah, it's like, who are you trying to impress with these lights? Like there's like 200 or something. It's insane. Um, and then there is some really good physical comedy now. Like Clark's fucking about with that ladder and it closes and it goes all the way down. It's like, oh, was that Chevy Chase who did that? Was that a stuntman? Because that looked
Mm.
pretty practical how it was done. But what I do love, every time there's some sort of practical effect with him and that goes wrong, he no sells it every single time. Like when the ladder comes down, just like, and then just puts it back up and goes up again. I think it's quite funny. Um, yeah, then yeah, that's when we get the point where Clark's back up the ladder and he's stapling the lights, and of course he staples his shirt to the roof. Like, oh, fuck's sake! You couldn't have just left it with the ladder
No,
descending and just left it at that. You know, we have
with
to have
all
more
those,
and more and more of this.
with all those like again, it's just it's like a bit. I kind of thought at one point it's a bit like a sketch show.
Yeah,
It's like there's a bit after a bit after a bit. It kind of it's all loosely hanging together. But also, like, I was thinking when he's putting all those lights up and like nailing them into the roof, it's like you can do some damage to your roof putting that many fucking holes in it.
yeah. I was thinking that when it's after Christmas, how do you get all those staples out? How? There's
Take
hundreds of
fucking
them.
hours.
I'll just
Yeah,
leave it there.
no.
Leave it till
Yeah.
next year.
Easter lights, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. Then we get more chaos of the ladder and going back and forth, and oh yeah, and then what was it? Audrey's moaning to Ellen about all the family staying there, and then it just lights up a fag. And then you hear her mother-in-law go, "You spoken?" And you're no,
I was a
not
bit
the
where
thing I
like
do.
Juliette Lewis was making a right meal out of peeling a carrot.
They
Go
both
back and
were,
watch that. She's fucking. It's like, all right.
but Ellen's like that with the letters, hacking at that.
There's a bit
Um,
she's thinking about. She's talking about having to share a room with Rusty, and she's like, "Oh, I don't even like, I have nightmares thinking about when he gets up to his room by himself." I'm like, "What are you doing thinking about your brother doing stuff in his room?
isn't
That's
he like
weird."
10? Like,
Yeah, don't be
oh,
thinking about none of that. Even,
horrible.
even, even if it's a nightmare, there's something seriously wrong with you if that's going through your head.
Yeah, and also, why do they have to sleep in the same bed? Why can't Rusty just sleep on the floor?
Yeah,
Or a sleeping
exactly.
bag? But
He's a kid. Kids are resilient. They'll
that's
sleep on
it.
anything.
Yeah, we get Clark still fucking about on the roof with Rusty helping, and of course Clark nearly falls off, and then that's when he grabs onto the drain pipe, which then breaks, and a massive icicle particle goes flying out and into the neighbour's house and destroys his stereo. It's like, look again, what have they done to deserve this? They don't deserve this. So the neighbours, understandably, are fucked off that the stereo's broken, but they realise pretty soon it was probably Clark. I was like, well, yeah, who else would it
What
be?
else is
Who,
going to be?
who else is the absolute klutz in this neighbourhood? It's Clark.
Frosty the fucking snowman broke in and trashed his stereo.
Maybe. Oh, yeah, because they said, oh, the carpet's wet. So it could have been Frosty. Um, yeah, then we get the
That
family out.
vandal.
Yeah, fucking Birdle. Then we get the family are outside ready to see all the house lit up. And for some reason, they're all in their pajamas. Like, did Clark turf them all out of bed to come and see these lights being switched on? But typically it doesn't work. They do that really annoying drum roll. Look at that. Stop that. Stop that immediately.
Is that the thing that got you?
Yeah, it's just annoying. There's lots of really annoying shit in this film. Like just like little ticks that people have. It's like, yeah, stop it. Just stop it. Um, but the house doesn't light up, and Clark's really disappointed. And his
There's a
dad
really
won't.
weird line here where she said, "Oh, we worked really hard," and her dad says, "So do washing machines." I was like, what?
That doesn't even make sense.
That's not even a burn. That's nothing. That's you said nothing.
Lazy writing, John Hughes. Lazy writing. There is a bit of a funny bit though, because then Clark says to Rusty, "We checked all the light bulbs, didn't we?" He goes, "Oh yeah, sure we did, Dad." He goes, "Oh, maybe I can help." He goes, "Oh, look at the time." There's no watch. As he
You
walks
just
off, listing all the chores, you can still hear him talk. He's like, "I've got
do
those
what?
bills to pay."
Yeah, 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 yeah.
He's like, "I've got to wash the car. I've got this. I've got bills to pay." Yeah, that really popped me. It was very, very well executed joke. Um, Yeah, then we get is this the bit you and your Ralph were talking about? So there's shots of everyone sleeping in the house where they're just absolutely everywhere. They're in bunk beds, they're on the
No, no, no,
floors.
no. It's not this. It's not that bit. It's
Oh
not that bit.
wow. Oh, because I've written down my line was a fucking invaders. So
I wrote down. Why does the old man have a poster above the bed?
I imagine that's Rusty's room, and that's probably his wank poster.
Yeah, but it's like Rita Hayworth.
Rita Hayworth was a very lovely lady, I tell you. But yeah, you'd think it'd be someone like, I don't know, Sidney Crawford or, Pamela
Yeah.
Anderson or someone like that. Yeah, I don't know. Then what happens? Um, yeah, we still get Clark's checking all the lights in the middle of the night. It's like, why is this so goddamn important to you? Like, I get who are you showing off to? Although I think there's a bit later on when him and his dad are talking about this, and that was a very proud moment for his dad to always do the lights as a family because that's what Clark's always trying to do. Is he's trying to replicate the family Christmas he had with his family. So
I think what he's got is that thing where he has got his idea of what the perfect Christmas is, or what the perfect
yeah,
this is, and and it's just the same as in the films, where it's the perfect vacation is, but he's trying to have the perfect thing where nothing goes wrong,
yeah,
and by attempting that, you facilitate everything going wrong.
of course, yeah, yeah. Then we come to the funniest goddamn bit of the film, right? I rewound this bit 5 times. I could not stop laughing, yeah, because I forgot about this bit. It comes out of nowhere. Clark comes out of his room in his pajamas, and he's got a load of pajamas, and he's going to take them up to the loft to hide them before Christmas Day. And when he opens the loft door, the lantern just comes out and hits him in the face. The way he just falls off screen and just gets back up and completely no shoulder. And I was laughing my ass off because my wife refused to watch it with me, and all she could hear from upstairs was and again, so I just kept rewinding it. And then when I told her, she goes, "That's not funny." I was like, "Yeah, but you found it funny in Home Alone." Because, that's different. I was like, "It's the same writer." Why is it funny in
We
Home
know
Alone? It's not funny
we
in
know the
this.
level of humor that John Hughes is working at here is someone getting it in the face with a ladder.
God,
Gold.
it's so funny, man. But like, then they repeat the joke a bit later where he keeps on stepping on slack, so they keep whacking him in the face. Like, no, no, that's not funny. Like, it was funny earlier when the ladder just out of nowhere.
Oh, you're never fucking happy, you are you?
No, it's because
Ladder, funny. Plank, not
no,
funny.
it's because the ladder. I just didn't see it coming. It just completely comes out of
Neither did
nowhere.
he. Ah!
Yeah, just, the way he just no sells it. It's not like he's holding his face for the next 10 minutes. He just no sells every time he gets hurt. Oh, that made me laugh. Um, he's hiding presents up in the loft, and he finds a really old Mother's Day present that he should have got his mother. He's like, "Oh, I wonder if I go out my loft, am I going to find some treasures up there I've forgotten about?"
If I went in my loft, I'd be in the upstairs flat. Hello.
That's true. That's really awkward.
All of these are mine. This stuff you've got here is all my stuff.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
Oh yeah. Then Marie from Everyone Loves Raymond closes the loft door. Like, now this I saw coming. I was like, of course he's going to get stuck up there, isn't he? Well, he's not up there for that long.
No. And he also has a way out which he doesn't take.
Yeah, like he starts panicking and then stepping on those slacks and said that just keep hitting him in the face. And then there's a window that quite easily opens up. Why don't you just climb out the window?
Well, the window's quite small. I meant more in a minute when he puts his foot through the roof and ends up on Rusty's the top bunk bed. You could easily get out through there.
Yeah, but then you're going to seriously damage the ceiling.
You've already
Yeah,
seriously
you've already
damaged the ceiling. You've got to get someone in to do that. That's a contractor job. That's going to cost you a couple hundred
true.
dollars at least, if not a grand. You might as well redo the whole ceiling if you're doing a little bit of it. I mean, why not?
And also, because there's a soft landing, there's a bunk bed, you could just take a nice big side bump and just smash through the ceiling and land on the bed.
Exactly. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, the whole family just goes out and leaves him.
Yeah, they're all going off to buy presents, and I think they just say something like, "Oh, I don't know, he's probably just busy doing something else or something." It's like, could you check? Like, what?
Somebody could take the 30 seconds it would take to go and check because you're not all getting in the same car.
No, but it looks like they're going in several cars, don't they? Which
Yeah, because there
means,
are 8 of you.
yeah, exactly, staying since the 14th. Yeah, and then this bit was quite funny. As Clark is just in his pajamas, his dinosaur pajamas, he opens up an old chest of clothes to keep warm. I don't know if that's what's only what was available, but he puts on a fur coat, some women's gloves, and a headscarf to keep warm. So I'm sure there's other shit in that chest, and this is just a chest of Ellen stuff. I don't know. Yeah, that's the bit we get where his feet go through the ceiling and it's the bunk beds below. And then this bit was kind of nice where he finds those old Super 8 films of his family Christmas as a boy, and he's watching them and getting like quite emotional. Um, And at this point, yeah, the family come home with presents, and then of course Ellen opens the loft door, and goes, "Oh!" and falls out. It's like, right, okay, so that's into that. And it goes
Yeah,
back to what you were saying about it's just a sketch show. It's one
yeah.
stupid thing he does after another. It's like Ernest
Because
Saves
nothing ties
Christmas.
into anything. Like the films never tie into anything. He doesn't like show the films to anyone. He doesn't reference the films. He's not dead after falling out of the loft.
No, but don't the films reinforce again his vision of the family Christmas he's trying to recreate every time?
Yeah, maybe a little bit, but also his uncle giving him a smack, which was quite funny.
When does his uncle give
Even
him
on
a
the
smack?
film, so on the film, they're like with his uncle and I
Oh,
don't know
Uncle
who his name
Lewis.
is.
Yeah.
Uncle Lewis when he turns up and he goes to get the present, Uncle Lewis gives him a wallop.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds about right for the 1950s.
Yeah. Gotcha. Then we cut to the neighbour's house. They've been out jogging, and those jogging outfits are awful. They're so bad. And he says something like, "I want to kiss every square inch of you." Yeah, not till you've showered. It's like, well, yeah, that's just standard. Like,
Yeah, well,
otherwise,
yeah.
dirty sex. Um,
Ugh.
then Clark's back outside again, trying to figure out those lights. Oh, Jesus, just give it up, will you? And then Ellen gets annoyed that he's not inside with the family. And then we just get this whole bit of people flicking on the light, then going away, then lights coming on, then they're not on, and that. And it just goes on for fucking
It goes on for
ages.
ages. In the meantime, Margot and Troy are
Chod.
Todd, sorry, are destroying their own house because the lights come on, it blinds them, and they smash stuff. The lights go off, it's dark, and they smash stuff. And it's like, what did they do?
Then Todd falls down the stairs and then he kills himself.
Yeah, and
What did
at
they
no point
do?
in all this back and forth is it even remotely funny.
No, it's not. You just feel sorry for Margot and Todd, you know? And at this point, Clark goes absolutely ape shit and starts going off and beating up all the garden ornaments. Now, I don't know if you got a bit of Smith trivia there, because I've got a bit of Smith
Mm,
trivia. Okay, I'll save it for later. Yeah, he starts going mental, and then I think Ellen works out, right, it's that switching door. She flicks it on, and then finally the lights come on, and I've written down, thank Christ. And then the family, this is probably the bit you like, the family are happy to see the lights on, and everyone's hugging. And he takes it in turns hugging everyone, and suddenly we see that cousin Eddie's arrived. And then Clark just keeps going, Eddie? Eddie? He said it about 5 times. Eddie? I kept thinking at first, oh, is that his brother? But then I learned later on, oh no, it's not even his cousin, it's Ellen's cousin, isn't it?
it's Ellen's cousin's husband.
Oh, Catherine is her. Yeah,
Yeah,
okay, got it, got it, got it.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that's the other problem I got with this movie. There are so many goddamn characters who don't do anything. Now, there is a lot of that in John Hughes films, like in Home Alone.
yeah,
There's loads and
yeah,
loads
yeah.
of characters, but I'm like, this one, I'm like, sorry, who's that person? What? They don't even say anything.
Yeah, I don't understand why they had to have both sets of parents there. They don't do anything.
No,
Also, and this is something I looked up, and it's not really Smith trivia, but I thought that his mum, Chevy Chase's mum, was like, she don't look that old.
no, I thought that.
She was only 8 years older than Chevy Chase.
Yeah, because how old's Chevy Chase in this? Like 50 something? Because he's pretty old now, isn't he?
No, 40 odd at
Yeah,
this. I think it was
maybe.
89. He would have been born in 50 something. So I
Okay, all right.
think
So he might be in his 70s now. All right.
he's not that much older than, he's a bit older than Beverly D'Angelo, but not a hell of a lot. Certainly not. We're not talking Charles Grodin in
That's
Beethoven.
what I was thinking. I was getting Charles Grodin vibes looking at him. I was like, is this deceptive? You actually in like your late 50s or something like that?
No, 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 no. He was only about, I think about eight or so. I think he's halfway between the woman playing his mum and the woman playing his wife.
Mhm.
So I think she's 8 years older than him, and he's 8 years older than her,
Got it. Okay.
which doesn't seem that bad,
No, I suppose
except
not.
for the mum, because we had to believe that she had him when she was 9 or 8,
Yeah, yeah,
and
that's horrible. Man, let's not go there.
yeah, and the guy playing his dad is like 20 years older than her.
Yeah, yeah, this took a dark turn. Anyway, right. So,
Oh, and
Eddie,
Diane Ladd, by the way, who plays his mum, is Laura Dern's mum. There you go.
there you go. Stop using your Smith trivia.
It's not Smith trivia.
All right. Anyway, so Eddie's arrived in his shithole RV and his trash family. And his kids are called Rocky and Ruby Sue, and they've got this really horrible Rottweiler called Snots, who apparently shags everything all the time. Now, I've got memories of this bit in the film where the dog just keeps shagging everything, but he doesn't. And I,
No,
because
not in the version I watched. No,
yeah, because the version I watched was on
doesn't shag
Sky.
anything. Yeah,
No, he
likewise.
doesn't. Yeah, and the one I
Doesn't
watched on
shag
Sky has got
anything.
a load of swearing. I was like, oh, this must be the uncut one because when I watched it
Yeah,
a few years ago, I watched it on ITV and it was cut the ribbons. But this one, like, there's loads of swearing. It's like, oh, it doesn't shag anything. So maybe
I
that's
don't
just a
think they.
misconception that that happens,
I don't think they'd cut. I don't think they'd cut out dog shagging stuff.
even if it was like three in
Well,
the afternoon.
he says it does, doesn't he? He says it
Yeah,
does.
and then I'm just
He,
waiting for a payoff to that.
yeah.
Like, is he going to be shagging Uncle Lewis or something like that? But no, it
Are
never
we to
happens.
believe that he shagged Margot
Yeah, that might
later
be
in the
another reason why.
film?
Yeah, okay, yeah,
I was
perhaps.
waiting for a punchline there about her being caked in dog jizz, but it never comes.
Ah! Great banner. Anyway,
You know it's great when you say it is.
yeah, exactly. Eddie says they're here because it was a surprise, and then Ellen begrudgingly lets them stay inside the house. Well, no, no, just let them stay in the RV. Don't let these trash people in your house. Although to be fair, Eddie doesn't fuck it up that much. Not really. He could have fucked it up a lot, but not that much.
No, I mean, also just to go back when they turn the lights on and they're blinding Todd and Margot, I'd kick off.
Oh yeah, like what are you
If my
doing?
neighbours had that many lights and they were like blaring them so that I couldn't see, I'd be like, oh no, you fucking don't.
There are some houses where I live that are like that. It's like, how are you paying for this? Electricity's bad enough already when you just got your kitchen light on. Like bloody hell, you know?
You walking around with a candle
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's it.
like wee Willie Winton
Yeah.
in your nightshirt. Who bloody made him money?
Darkness was cheap and Stu liked it. No, what was it? Like, oh yeah, we get a shot when they do turn the lights on, like, oh, nuclear power accelerators turning down the power. Hilarious. But, uh, um, yeah, they're inside the house, and Clark and Eddie are drinking eggnog while Snot's drinking the tree water. Snot's the Rottweiler dog. And yeah, Clark's horrified. He keeps making snide remarks like, "Oh, maybe I should just take you out in the woods and leave you to die." I'm like, "Fucking hell, that's a bit much, isn't it?" Like,
That's what I mean. He's an ass.
yeah,
He
I mean,
pretends to be this lovely family man, but he's not. He's a dickhead.
yeah. But then Eddie does say that he's staying for a month. I'm like, "Oh no, a month." Then we cut to it's December 18th, and I've written down why are the family here so early? Even
Yeah.
the 18th is too early. And then Clark is still going to work every day. He's like, what? He's going to work every day. And he comes home, there are people in his house. I'm like, you don't, they prepared dinner or done some washing or cleaned up or something, not just been bumming around watching the telly.
I wouldn't. When I go to my parents' house, I'll just sit there and do nothing.
Yeah, but you don't go there 2.5 weeks before Christmas or whatever. Anyway.
Sometimes.
Clark goes to see his boss, Mr. Shirley, to drop off a present, and everyone else has got a present, and he starts sucking up to him again, and his boss is just like, yeah, whatever, and just starts pretending to phone someone. It's just like, who in this situation are we supposed to think is the arsehole? Because they're both kind of being dicky, you know?
Yeah.
Um, yeah, this scene is so pointless. The next one, it's night time and everyone's sledding, and Clark is applying a lubricant to the dish. Now, this comes back to this where I was getting confused what he did for a job because I swear he said this is some sort of varnish that I've been working on.
Yeah, it's the same. It's the same thing that he's going to put on the cereal.
Right, okay, but he's putting it to the dustbin lid, and then
Yeah.
he goes off sledding in it, and we get the hilarity of him going way too
Oh, when he was putting it
fast.
on, I've written down. Gee, I wonder what's going to happen here.
And again,
It's
no,
very. I think there's a sequence very much like this in the first film.
I can imagine there is,
Very much like this in the first film.
but it doesn't go anywhere. It's not like everybody else skis, and then it's Clark's turn. It's like, right, Clark goes right, I'm gonna have a go, and then sleds off, and then
That's the end
hits
of
a
it.
trash can in Walmart, and then Eddie just goes bingo to the camera. I'm like, what? What?
Yeah, it didn't make any sense. It feels like something got cut out there.
Yeah, I
Feels like there's something missing,
was like, oh, this would be
or
hilarious.
it's a very specific American joke that we don't get.
I don't get it. I
Like,
was
I
like, this.
wonder if there's like something to do with Walmart at the time that maybe that's a reference to.
Getting there as quickly as possible to Walmart to do your shopping or something like that. Yeah,
No, like the bingo. It's got to be a reference to something, or maybe it's something Cullen Eddie said in the first film, but I
don't know.
can't remember it well enough.
Yep, pointless thing. Then it's December 21st, still too early if you ask me. And Clark is still at work and he's looking at that pool that he wants. And the bloke from Friends come in and wishes him a Merry Christmas. And he says, oh, have you got your bonus yet? Oh, I think I got it. My son said something arrived me earlier, so you'll probably get yours later. I was like, I wonder what's going to happen when we get the final
Mm.
reveal about that
Also,
envelope.
why are they like, oh, they're sending it to the house? Who sends a bonus to the house?
Well, it's not the old
Just
times
be in
you
your
used.
pay, just be in your paycheck, right? Just be in your monthly. Don't know
Yeah, but
about you, but
didn't back in the day people used to get paychecks, which was literally a check, and you'd have to go to the bank and cash it. So I imagine the
yeah, but they wouldn't
paycheck.
send it to your home. They just give it to you in the office. Why would they be sending it to your home? That's not efficient.
Maybe they just assume everyone's going to be checking out early for Christmas. Or something. I don't know, Smith. But yeah, you're right. It's a bit like when you used to get sent your pay slip by post. Like, this is a waste. Just send an email. Like, why are
Yeah,
you wasting all this paper and money posting people's pay slips? Anyway, oh, and then we get a really, really weird bit. So Clark's finished up for Christmas, says Merry Christmas to his mate, and he's looking out of his kitchen window late at night. And he's imagining that swimming pool that he wants, and all the family are there, and Eddie's there, and even in the fantasy ruining it, which is quite funny. He's like, why are you thinking about Eddie ruining your pool? But all right. And then suddenly that woman who's at the department store is in the fantasy.
yeah,
And then she takes all her swimsuit off and starts swimming around naked and stuff. And you can just see like Chevy Chase getting really turned on. I've written down like, I'm surprised he hasn't started masturbating at this point. It's like, why?
yeah. Again, this I thought, especially when the little girl turns up at the end of the season, I'm like, right, are they going for a weird punchline? Nope, no,
Yeah,
no punchline, nothing, just happens.
no, yeah. Although she does come up with a funny line. So Ruby Sue, his niece, comes in and startles Clark, and it's quite a nice scene when she's talking about old Santa Claus, and I don't think he exists. He's never brought anything. He said, "Oh, you nervous about Christmas?" He goes, "I'm shitting bricks." He went, "You shouldn't say that word." He goes, "I'm sorry, I'm shitting rocks." I was like, "What?"
Oh, that was quite funny that
It
line,
was quite
and
funny.
she delivers it very well.
Yeah. And they said, "Oh, they never get any presents from Santa," and Clark says, "Oh, you will this year," like that. And I'm thinking, "Oh, okay, that's quite a nice scene." Next
The
morning,
bit as
everyone,
well, where he's like, "Oh, I couldn't even afford to be an elf," and it's like, you have a huge house, and your biggest problem is you can't put a swimming pool in.
yeah,
Cry me a fucking river.
nobody asked you to get that swimming pool. You just did that out of vanity, probably to show
Yeah.
off to Margot and Todd next door. Next
I mean,
morning,
I'd hate that as well if I was a neighbour and some of my neighbours put a pool in.
oh, because it'd take
Fuck
months,
God.
wouldn't it, to put
It'd
that
take
in?
months, and all you're going to get all bloody summer is splashing. And you're
Yeah,
going to be sitting in your kitchen having a nice cup of coffee. You say, splash, splash, splash. It's going to be a right fucking ball like.
yeah, people hollering, hooing, like music blaring. Oh, shut up, shut up. Yeah. So next morning, everyone's arguing over breakfast, and then we see that Eddie's filling the sewer from his RV. It's like, should have was full. I was like, oh, you found that funny, didn't you?
I did find that funny. I think Randy Quaid's great in this. I mean, the man himself is a lunatic, but I think he's very good in this film.
He reminds me a bit of Woody Harrelson. Like Woody Harrelson is in like Zombieland and stuff like that. Oh,
Hmm.
which is funny because they were both in Kingpin together, weren't they?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
haven't seen that in years.
Nah. Oh.
Oh,
Yeah. Um, Ellen tells Clark that she's worried Eddie's kids won't have any presents. He's been out of work for 7 years because he's been holding out for a management position. That was really funny.
funny line.
There's a few in here which did get me. I was like, yeah, that was good.
Yeah. Well, that ties back. I looked this up. That ties back to the first film.
Yeah,
So in the first film, he's just been made redundant.
right.
So it's 7 years since the first film.
Yeah. Yeah, and apparently the shoes that Eddie's wearing are the shoes that Clark gave him in the first film as well.
Yeah,
So they're
yeah,
like,
yeah.
and when they were drinking the eggnog earlier on, it's
It's
from
Wally
the
World.
theme park they go to. Yeah. Because I just
Yeah,
thought they
yeah.
were mooses, like Christmas mooses or something, but no, it's Wally World.
No, no, no. It's Wally World.
Yeah, we're at the supermarket. Clark and Eddie are shopping, and he keeps stacking up loads and loads and loads of dog food. At this point, Eddie confesses that he's broke, and they're actually living in the RV, and it's not on loan after all. And then Clark says, "Look, I'm going to buy some presents for the kids," and then Eddie just produces this pre-written list of presents and gives it to him. He goes, "And also, I want to get you something really nice as well." I was like, that doesn't even make sense. Then it's Christmas Eve because we see that on the calendar. This is when all the chaos is going to happen, and the house is lit outside.
This is when your family should turn up.
But again, me and you talked about this offline. Correct me if I'm wrong, American viewers and listeners. You guys celebrate it on Christmas Eve and is Christmas Day like the chill day? Or is it you celebrate both? Because from what I understand, you don't get a Boxing Day like we do in the UK. So I always question is do people make more of the big deal about Christmas Eve? Because for me, Christmas Eve is me and my wife chilling out watching telly, and Christmas Day is the family day.
So I've spent a Christmas in America,
Oh, okay.
admittedly with Brits, so I couldn't speak to how authentic it was. But my experience of US Christmas
Mhm.
is you get Christmas Day off.
Mhm.
That's it.
Yeah, no
So
Boxing Day.
you finish work at like normal time on Christmas Eve, you come home, you get Christmas Day off, and then you're back at work the next day. Christmas is not a big thing. Thanksgiving is their bigger thing. You get more days off for that.
Yeah, you get the whole
So
weekend
and
off.
because it's so close, you don't need another one. But
Fair.
I yeah, I don't know. I assume, judging from this, that they celebrate it on Christmas Eve because they got a big fucking turkey dinner coming.
Exactly.
Unless you're having that 2 days on the trot.
No, no way. Yeah, so we see the house is lit up and Ruby Sue's lighting the candles, and this is where we get Aunt Bethany and Uncle Lewis. Oh, these two are obnoxious, especially Uncle Lewis. Bethany's
He's
just old.
so familiar, Uncle Lewis.
What's
I
he
was
been
looking
in?
at him, I was like, I know him. And well, I looked at him, it was a guy called William Hickey's Oscar nominated. There's like 3 people have been nominated for Oscars in this film.
Crazy.
Um, I don't know. So I've looked at him. He's the only things I recognise in him from when I looked him up was Mouse Hunt. He's in The Nightmare Before Christmas. So
Okay.
he's a voice in The Nightmare Before Christmas. There is a tie in there. And he's in the Puppet Master film, the original Puppet Master.
Yeah, I've not seen that.
No, they're the only things that I recognise him from, but I could have sworn I'd seen him in something else.
Don't know.
But I looked it up and I couldn't see anything. So
All right.
probably not.
Yeah, so Aunt Bethany's old and senile, and Lewis is just an arsehole, wears a wig. And they've brought weird presents, including her cat, which is in a box, which she's wrapped in birthday paper. And she's like, yeah, they don't have much money, so they just grab things from their house and wrap it up. I was like, you wrapped your cat up? And then like Clark just starts violently shaking it.
Oh, so this is
Uh,
another thing. Just going back to like ages and stuff. The one who played Bethany is 19 years older than the guy who played Cousin Lewis.
Uncle
He's
Lewis.
only he Uncle Lewis. He's only like 60 odd in this film.
Yeah, but they've made him up to look
He
older.
looks fucking ancient. I mean, he died not much than that bad. But
He
but
was
she
like
was apparently the
61 or
original.
something.
Yeah, he's about 61, and she was the original voice of Betty Boop.
Oh, again, you're using Spiff trivia.
No.
Um, yeah, then we get to the dinner scene, and this is one of the most famous scenes. And this is the one when I was a kid. That's one of the scenes that resonated with me. So it looks like they're gonna have a nice turkey dinner. Clark carves it, and it's been overcooked. It's disintegrates. It all just kind of like, and all like steam comes out. It's like, oh god! And I've written, can that even happen?
No, it can't. No.
If surely if you just
And if you,
overcooked a turkey, it just burn and go black.
it would be, it wouldn't turn into a dried out husk with a huge cavity in the middle of it. It would just be thick and dry.
Yeah, and
I mean, it
horrible.
will dry out. Like turkey is quite easy to overcook, like famously easy to overcook, but because it's so big. But
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, it just dry. It'd just be dry. It wouldn't be
yeah.
that dry. I think you'd, and if it was that dry, it wouldn't look like a normal turkey from the outside.
No, exactly. And
But I think therein lies the humor, apparently.
oh, yeah, because Eddie and Catherine have prepared it. Because then Clark goes, "Oh, I can see the heart." I was like, "Oh, you should even take the organs out." And then they ask Aunt Bethany, "Does she want to do a grace? Because it's probably going to be her last one." And then she starts pledging allegiance to the USA. And then Eddie stands up and covers his heart, which I thought was really funny. And that meal is absolutely horrible that they're eating. It just looks disgusting. And then this is where we get another famous scene where Aunt Bethany's cat starts fucking around with the Christmas lights from the tree, and Clark's trying to get the kids excited about Santa Claus coming, and then Snots the dog is under the table being sick because he's gone through the trash
Yeah.
can. I'm like, oh, for Christ's sake, that's another thing that's gone wrong. So Clark and Ellen are trying to clear up all the trash in the kitchen, and at this point, Uncle Lewis says, "Oh, can you get my stogie from the kitchen?" And the cat has managed to unplug the lights, and as Clark plugs the lights back in, it electrocutes and kills the cat. I'm like, oh, cat murder.
I mean, to be
Lovely.
honest, I wouldn't like it. Like if I had people come and stay in my house, I wouldn't like them bringing their cat,
No,
accidentally or not. I wouldn't like them bringing their dog. Like, I don't want a dog running around my house. I
and
love
smoking
dogs.
cigars in my house
Yeah,
as
well,
well.
that's the other
No.
thing. I wouldn't want someone smoking a cigar in my house either. But absolutely not.
Yeah, I know cigar smoke smell less than cigarettes, but still,
No,
oh
they
God.
don't. No, no, they don't. Not at all.
You don't think so? I don't think they linger as
No, no,
much as
no.
cigarettes.
Stronger smell in the first instance, though.
Yeah, I guess. Um, Clark and Eddie take out the roasted chair outside. They notice there's gas coming from the sewer. I was like, wonder if this will come back. And
It
then,
will, but not in any consequential way.
not really, no. Um, Uncle Lewis is having a cigar in the living room and he burns down the tree. And I've just written down, what a fucking arsehole. Like, you'd be furious, wouldn't you? Again, first of all, you're smoking in my house. Don't do that. Second of all, you've burnt the tree down. You know?
Yeah, yeah. I wouldn't be. I wouldn't be very forgiving of that. Somehow.
No, no. Yeah, he just goes, my tree, my tree. Okay, next scene. It's like, all right. Um, then the courier arrives and delivers Clark's bonus, and everyone gathers around to hear it. I'm like, you nosy bastards. Why,
So
why?
weird. But also,
What's it?
everyone like, oh, he's got a bonus. Everyone has gathered around like some great big Christmas moment. It's really fucking gauche. It's horrible. Like he's
Yeah.
like, oh, everybody, I know. I'm sorry, I've been a bit out of sorts, but now I've got this.
Yeah, and he says, "Oh, I'm going to get a pool, and I'm going to fly everyone out here so you can use it." And I'm overdrawn because I've paid for it in advance. Oh, you see exactly where this is going.
Yeah.
And
There's a nice moment there actually from Beverly D'Angelo when he says that. 'Cause she has that look on her face like, huh.
yeah,
And then immediately goes back to be like, oh, well.
yeah, yeah. And he opens it and he's just made to find it's a membership for the Jelly of the Month Club. I was like, what is Jelly of the Month Club?
I'm assuming it's a jelly you get every month.
What
Or as Eddie says, it's the gift that keeps on
yeah,
giving.
that was funny. He's not upset for Clark whatsoever. And then
Well, of
Clark
course
goes,
he's not, right? Because he's a man who lives in a fucking RV. He'd be
exactly.
appreciative of anything. It's just the level of entitlement
Yeah,
on Clark Griswold, that the idea that he's entitled to a bonus and that it's a great big thing and he should have it and it's going to be terrible if he doesn't have it. It's just like Jesus fucking Christ,
yeah,
man.
grow up, mate, you know? Um, yeah, then Clark at this point goes absolutely apeshit, drinking eggnog, and he just goes on a tirade about his boss and what he would do if he was here. And you just see Eddie going like, oh, taking mental note.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Clark goes out with somebody's chainsaw and chops down a big tree, which consequently smashes through the neighbour's window. And oh, they just happen to be talking about why did we get a tree? And then one goes through the window. I'm like, oh God, what did these people
Was they sitting there at
do?
their table with like cheese and meat and like a big old jug of margaritas? I was like, big old jug of margaritas. Make a
Yeah,
note of that.
yeah, the Christmas was simple but nice, you
They
know.
look quite nice. I have a big old
Yeah.
jug of margaritas and some cheese. Yes, please.
God, no, they really don't deserve any of this. Then we get Clark dressed as Santa and he's still holding the chainsaw, and Ellen thinks he's going to berserk, and then he just starts sawing off the handrail with a banister. I was like, why did you do that? I've been made to believe he's lost the plot by this point. But
It's
then
a
he's,
reference to It's a Wonderful Life.
oh yeah, when he keeps getting annoyed about the,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
it's a
that's right.
reference. Yeah.
Okay, now I get it. All right. Clark's placing gifts under the new tree that he just chopped down, and then we get the bit with the squirrel. I'm like, oh, all right, it's just something
This is the
else, isn't
bit.
it?
This is the bit with the squirrel running around and the dog chasing it. It's the bit where I thought you'd fucking hate
Oh
this.
God, yeah. The dog and the squirrel completely trash the house. He jumps all over the dining room table, knocks all the plates over, he knocks the French dresser down. Like, oh, you son of a bitch! Yeah, that did really upset me. Yep. Because yeah, it's on Clark's back, isn't it? He turned around and it's there, and then all the family are running round and round, and yeah. And then at this point, Margot's saying to Todd, "Right, you need to go over and punch Clark," but he doesn't want to. So she goes over there and opens the door, and of course the squirrel attacks her, followed by the dog. And you thought perhaps the dog might have sodomized her, but yeah, I'm not sure it did. Yeah,
I didn't
yeah.
say that.
No, you didn't
I
have
thought
to.
about humped her. I didn't say sodomize.
Yeah. But then she comes back and Todd went, what happened? And Marco just punches Todd in the face. Like, Todd didn't
What
do
did
anything
he do?
wrong. He might have been a bit of a wimp and not wanting to confront Clark, but he didn't deserve to be punched in the face.
I don't think not resorting to physical violence should be penalised. That's a correct and mature way to behave. Just because someone's annoying you, don't just go around and punch them in the face, even if they've
Well,
destroyed part of your house.
just call the cops and sue him, innit?
Yeah, well, yeah, you could sue the fuck out of them. He'd cut down a tree with a chainsaw in the middle of the night, which is probably not allowed under public ordinance. It's then
Exactly.
fallen through your window, which is
Yeah.
property damage. You could sue him quite easily.
He's already broke their window in stereo
Exactly.
earlier as well. Yeah.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
couldn't prove that, I don't think.
No.
That'd be hard to prove that one, unless you had CCTV, and then that
Yeah.
begs bigger questions about you.
Yeah. There you go. At this point, all the family attempt to leave, but Clark refuses and he starts talking like a madman. Now, in the uncut one, he does drop the F bomb because PG-13s, even back then, were allowed to say one F bomb. But if you watched it on TV, they replaced the word fucking with dancing. Like that. It's
This made
Danny
me laugh
fucking
out
K.
loud. Yeah, that for some reason that line really made me laugh. It's
Yeah.
been Crosby tap dance with Danny fucking Gay.
Bravo, bravo. That's the
Yeah,
thing. When the version I watched a few years ago, all the swearing is cut out. Literally, even like Eddie going, "Oh, should us fall" and stuff like that. All of it's cut out. So it a lot of the jokes just don't land. I'm like, oh, because
I
you've
mean a
cut
lot of
swearing
jokes
out.
don't land anyway.
No, no, exactly. Even
I
more
think
so.
this is this point in the film, right? So Chevy Chase, for me, he's got such a reputation of being an arsehole that it kind of comes with him. So when
Mm,
he's acting like this, where he's all crazy and swearing and being an arse, like it suits him better.
yeah, don't be a
The
nice guy.
smiling family man doesn't suit him at all.
No, no. Um, at this point, Clark's father comes to talk to him and tells him not to ruin Christmas for everyone. He's like, "Oh, Christmas is a tough." He's like, "Well, how did you get through it, Dad?" He went, "Oh, I had a lot of help from some Jack Daniels." I was like, "I don't think that's a joke. I think most fathers get through Christmas like that."
I mean, most fathers get through Saturday like that. I
Well,
mean,
yeah.
it's literally says, "Oh, you're too good a father to act like this." Like, on what basis? On
No,
what
he's
basis is he
not.
too good a father? He tried to cheat on his wife. He's
Yeah,
a lunatic,
yeah. He's very dismissive of his children.
and all he cares about is getting his big bonus. Like,
He's Paul. Yeah. Um, Yeah, at this point, Clark's reading "Twas the Night Before Christmas" to all of the family, and at this point, Eddie's arrived home and he's kidnapped Mr. Shirley in his pajamas, as he took Clark's tirade earlier a little bit too seriously. At this point, Mr. Shirley's wife has called the police, and Shirley like fires Clark for his behaviour. At this point, Clark starts scolding Shirley for getting rid of the bonuses, but like immediately he's like, "Oh yeah, you're wrong, you're right." Now this is a bit I got confused at. He reinstates the bonuses and he says,
Yeah.
what you got last year plus 20%. I was like, do you mean what you got salary plus
No,
20%?
bonus. So like
So your
20% increase in the
bonus was
bonus.
10 grand last year, have
You get
that plus
12.
20%.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Because I was like, why does everyone get so excited about it? They don't know what he got last year. Like, I don't know. And then Clark faints as well. I was
I
like,
mean, this bit was so unrealistic. It was a bit like he's kidnapped him. He dragged his out. He's like, "No, you're right. I should
yeah,
have given you all a bonus. I've changed my mind, but you fucking wouldn't. It'd have
no,
you
you
all
wouldn't.
arrested."
Yeah, and the bit where the cops and the SWAT team arrived, which also upset me because they started smashing through the windows and stuff. He would just go, "No, it's a big misunderstanding."
And
It's like, no,
and in Margot and Todd's house for reasons that are unexplained.
yeah,
What did
poor,
they do?
poor Margot. I'm surprised they didn't move after this. Um, yeah, it tells him it's all been a big misunderstanding, won't be pressing charges. And then this bit was funny. Even the police captain scolded him, went, "Oh, people's bonuses, I'll take that away." Oh, that's low.
It's very said, well, if I had a rubber hose, I'd beat you. It's
Yeah,
like, what? Where did that come from?
it was
I
funny
was in
though.
this bit with the cops will break in and they go, freeze! Not you, them.
Yeah. Beverly D'Angelo shakes hands with someone while Mr. Shirley's wife while frozen, which I thought was funny.
Oh,
Um,
did you see the bit where she grabs his dick as well?
yeah,
Like,
it's an impulse
what?
thing. Yeah, it's funny. The kids see
He
shoots.
doesn't even flinch. So I read about that. Apparently, that's just in Smith trivia. Just that was an ad lib. She only did it the once.
Mm,
She grabbed his crotch the once on an ad lib, and it's like he didn't even fucking flinch.
yeah,
That's good comedic acting. That it's like
yeah,
just go with it.
definitely. At this point, the kids see shooting stars outside. They think it's Santa, and then Clark starts telling them about the Christmas star. But then Lewis points out, "No, that's the light from the sewer plant." And then he throws his cigar in the sewage, and it blows up and causes all the garden ornaments reindeer to fly up the sky and go past the sun. And for some reason, the sun, the moon. And for some reason, Hot Beverly starts singing the Star Spangled Banner, and everyone starts joining in. And even the cops are singing it, which I thought was really funny. Everyone's singing and dancing in the house, but like "It's a Wonderful Life." And then Bart takes the air outside with Ellen and is happy that he's delivered on his Christmas mission. And that's the end. And I've written down, thank Christ. So, I mean, it's a difficult one. We can't really say, oh, what did we love or hate about it back then? Because we've only ever seen bits and pieces of it. But I guess when we first came across it, what was your sort of initial thoughts of it? Was you like, oh, this is funny, or is it this just a bit like, it's fine? Or how did you feel?
I mean, I can't really remember. I kind of get the sense the fact that it hasn't permeated my annual rewatch list suggests to me that my feelings on it then are going to be quite similar to my feelings on it now, which is a degree of indifference. It felt like a worse version of other better films. I mean, it
Okay.
is. I mean, you made the point. At the end of the dancing around like it's a wonderful life. Like it feels at points like a loose take off parts of that film, not like a remake or anything, because obviously it doesn't have the supernatural angle to it, but it
Hmm.
feels like there are elements of that in there. There are elements of Home Alone in there. You know, they have that kind of Christmassy feel,
Yep.
but it never really comes together as anything. It's a film that's constantly on the verge of being good.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. And that's
It's
probably why I didn't
constantly,
gravitate towards it as a kid. It's just like, oh, yeah, it's fine. It's there.
yeah, yeah, and I think that's probably right. Like as a kid, I would have seen it, I would have registered it, and I'd have moved on. Like it didn't capture my imagination.
Okay.
You?
Yeah, just it was there. I was the same as you. I always remember the video box, and I remember my mum always being like, "Do you want to rent that out?" I'm like, no, and I don't know why. It was almost like I got a sixth sense of I don't think it's going to be very good. I think there are better
Yeah.
Christmas movies I could watch. Like I never liked those Ernest movies, Ernest Saves Christmas. And I was like,
Nah,
no,
not
it
for
just
me.
looks stupid. Yeah,
Yeah, not for
I,
me.
I think I envisioned. I know exactly what it's going to be. It's going to be some sort of clown fucking up Christmas, and I don't really want to see that. You know,
Christmas is bloody sacred.
yeah.
Um,
But I did make a point a few years ago, right, I'm going to sit down and watch it. And I didn't enjoy
yeah.
it. So then recently I was like, you know what, I'm going to give it another chance. And this was the uncut one I watched because the one I watched a few years ago, it was on a lot of ITV in the afternoon. It was all cut to ribbons. And I rewatched it. I was like, oh, well, some of the swearing does make it funnier. but doesn't necessarily make it a better film. I didn't hate this, but I didn't love it. I was like, "Oh,
No,
it's fine, I guess."
I said, I said to my other half when we were watching, I was like, there are some films like Die Hard, like Home Alone, that I will watch every year, and there are some films like this that I will probably watch once every decade when I've forgotten
Yeah.
it. And I'll remember the bits that I enjoyed, and I'll remember snippets of it, and I'll go, "Oh yeah, that film's not bad." And then I'll sit down and watch it and go, "Oh no, it's probably not great."
Yeah, and I think if this wasn't a Christmas film, because it does hit you in the feels, oh yeah, Christmas, that's nice, you know. If it was just a film
But
about a summer vacation at his house, I'm like, oh, I definitely don't want to watch this. Do you know what I mean?
for me, it tries to hit you in the feels and doesn't really get it. Like the whole bit with his dad at the end, where his dad's like, "Oh, I had all the help with Jack Daniels," and then, "No, no, it's your home. You read the night the was the night before Christmas," and he sits down and he's like, "Sorry, is this meant to reference something?" Because it's not a callback to anything. It was, yeah, he had the videos he watched, but at no point in the video did you see his dad reading him that book. Like this, you're grasping for an emotional resonance and an emotional payoff that you haven't earned.
Yeah.
I'm not going to take anything from this. It's like, he's being nice and buying the kids presents. Like, well, it would be great if he wasn't such a dickhead the rest of the time. Like,
Yeah, it's not like It's a Wonderful Life when he realizes he's been a real shit and needs to be better and all that sort of thing. Oh no,
yeah,
that's not true. He has been a good man. Then he has a wobble and he goes back to being a good man again.
but no, is he being a good man, right? Because this whole thing, right? So the whole thing is about him putting in a pool. Is the pool
No,
for everyone
I
else?
meant
No,
in
no,
It's a
no, no.
Wonderful Life. Yeah.
Oh no, yeah, well, yeah, Wonderful Life. In this, what you've got is a man who is selfish,
Mhm.
who's doing all of the things that he's doing for his own gratification or his own idea. He doesn't bother asking anybody else what they want. He doesn't say, "Do you want me to put these up? Do you want this tree?" In fact, everyone else
Yeah,
doesn't care. They don't care. It's his idea of the perfect Christmas, and everyone has to fall in line with it. Then he has a massive wobble about not getting his bonus. Then when he gets his bonus, he goes, "You know what? It wasn't about the bonus. It wasn't about this. It's about Christmas." Like, fuck off.
it was
Fuck off.
totally about a
You,
bonus.
that would work if you hadn't got your bonus and
Yeah,
you suddenly went, "You know what? I don't care about that. It's all about this. It's about Christmas. It's about family." No, because you've got your bonus. So it's easy to say that it's not about that when it is
yeah,
about
exactly.
that.
Yeah.
Right? So you don't earn any of this emotional payoff. You don't get to have the happy "It's a Wonderful Life" ending. It didn't make any fucking sense. Like, and the neighbors didn't do anything wrong.
No, nothing. And there's no payback at all, or whatever. Just they had to just keep enduring all of his arseholery
It's
every
just in
time.
these family films and like in which I assume this is. I like it's hard. And Hannah said that to me last night. She went, "Who's this for? Like, is this a
Exactly.
PG? Like, what is this? Is a kids' film?" I was like, "No," because it has elements of kids stuff in it. Like, it's got the yuppies that are a staple of these 80s films. They're bad because they're either A, rich, although they're all rich. I mean, look at the size of the
Exactly.
fucking house, or B, they don't like kids or animals. So that's bad. They're bad because an
Yeah.
animal or a child destroys their home, and they don't just go, "Oh, hijinks." They go, "No, fuck you, don't destroy my home," and that
Exactly.
makes them the villain. Like, what? I don't get it. Like, it doesn't work. And this film, again, like it's got jokes that it's going for. It just for some reason they just never work. It's like the odd line here or there is funny, but none of the set piece jokes, none of the big bits, none of the him slaying down a hill or like it just doesn't work as a joke.
No,
It's just like
no.
it's just there. It's like okay, all right, cool. Could be watching Home Alone.
Yeah, exactly. Which is weird because it's the same p people who made this. It's just I don't know. I
It
don't
was
know how they
almost
got
it
it.
was almost exactly the same people who made this.
I don't know how they got it so right with Home Alone and then don't with this. I don't know whether there was studio interference or shitloads of stuff got cut out or Chevy Chase was just being insufferable and they had to cater
Well,
him. I don't know. Who knows? But yeah, it's a
I'll
shame.
segue into a bit of Smith trivia here.
Well, let's actually that's the
Um,
segue. Let's go into it. Smith Trivia.
so, bit of Smith trivia then. And I say it's almost exactly the same people. So, Chris Columbus obviously directed Home Alone. Chris Columbus was originally meant to direct this, but Chris Columbus couldn't work with Chevy Chase because Chevy Chase is too fucking difficult. Now, Chevy Chase is a notoriously difficult human being. Um, so he walked, and then John Hughes eventually brought him back on for Home Alone, which is was it
Yeah,
90?
1990. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
a
So a
year
year
later.
after
Yeah.
this, yeah. So he's obviously clearly learned a few things. This was directed by Jeremiah Chekchik, who's directed not that much else, but he directed Benny and June,
Mm.
which I've never seen. Diabolique, which I've never seen because it's a remake of Les Diaboliques, which is a French film, which is very good, and I have seen it. And he directed The Avengers. No, not that one.
Oh,
The
that one.
one with Ray Fiennes and Uma Thurman, for which he received a Razzie for Worst Director.
Damn.
Oh wait, did he receive it or was he nominated? No, I think he was nominated. I don't think he won it. I think somebody else won it that year, but he was certainly nominated for one.
Oh, missed out on that
Um,
honor.
Absolutely. So on a budget of 25 million, this film grossed 73.3 million. So more than made its
Wow.
money back.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that's including not having a UK um, cinema release, not that we're the biggest market in the world. First film grossed 61 million off 50 million budget. The second film grossed 49 million off 17 million budgets. You see this one then sort of brought it back a bit,
Hmm.
although it cost more. Fourth film, 36 million off 25 million budget. So you can see after this the appetite for Chevy Chase shenanigans waned. The score for this was done by a composer called Angelo Badalamenti. Are you familiar with
No.
Angelo Badalamenti? So Angelo Badalamenti did the score for a lot of David Lynch's stuff.
Ah.
And there are connections to there are some David Lynchian bits in there. So he did the Straight Story, he did Twin Peaks, did all of that. But Diane
Hmm.
Ladd, who played Chevy Chase's mum, was in Wild at Heart, the
Hmm.
David Lynch film as well. So um, the critics' reviews for this were mixed, generally coming out around about a three out of five, about 50% approval rating, just like it's fine, absolutely fine. Chevy Chase broke his finger when he punched the plastic Santa, which is why after that he starts kicking them because he'd
Yep.
broken his hand. He then had to complete the rest of the shoot with a broken hand. And the bit where he's going on the big rant and rave about his boss and swearing and going into that whole kind of big sequence. Now,
Hmm.
cast members, it was mostly ad-libbed, but cast members who weren't on screen were stood there with signs around their neck with a single word written on it
Right.
so that he could pick the single word out and say, fuck, right, so I'll use that and I'll use that. So it's not written down, but he's sort of picking things out of the air
That's
and
cool.
just creating a tirade, which is the kind of thing that Chevy Chase is good at. This was originally not supposed to be the third film. The third film was originally supposed to be Australian Vacation, but they never made it work. So they changed it to be Christmas Vacation when they couldn't make the Australian one work.
Ah,
And
interesting.
finally, because it's all filmed on the back lot for the most part, well, two things. One, parts of it were filmed in Colorado for the
Hmm.
outside snow scenes. When they got there, they realized that there was no snow and then had to bus a load of snow in, which always seems to be the thing. Whenever you see in film, when you hear about films that go to film somewhere because there's snow, there's never any snow there. So do they check the fucking weather forecast before they turn up at these places?
Yeah, they should go somewhere like in Canada where there's shitloads of snow and just film
Well,
there.
exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose Colorado at the time of year that filming should have had, but it just didn't. Um, but because it was filmed on the back lot, some of the houses might be recognizable. Todd and Margot's house is the Murtaugh house from Lethal Weapon.
Ah, also a Christmas movie.
Also a Christmas movie. Yes, not one of my favorites, but also a Christmas movie. And that is the end of Smith trivia.
Cool. Yeah, because you covered most of it as we were talking all the way through the film.
Well, it's better to talk, cover it as we
Yeah,
talk, especially in
true,
a film
true.
like this, where there's feck all else to say about the rest of
Well,
it.
yeah, nothing happens in this film.
No.
Right, final verdict. Does it hold up?
No,
No, no,
no.
it
It's
doesn't.
it's so painfully average.
Yeah, yeah.
Then
It's
there
not
are
abysmal, is it? It's just it's there.
look, there are better Christmas films, right?
Much.
If you want to go and watch Christmas movies, there are better Christmas movies out there that you could spend your time with. Even like Christmas adjacent ones like Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. Go watch that. That's great.
Yep, that is good. That is good. Not seen that for a
Yeah.
while. Yeah.
Iron Man 3. I don't know, give that a rewatch.
No, I don't like Iron Man 3.
No, I haven't seen it since it first came out, but yeah, it's a
I
Christmassy
love Shane
film.
Black, but I don't like Iron Man 3. Yeah. Okay, cool. So, sorry, folks. Second year in a row, our Christmas special doesn't hold up. Yeah. We will continue to pick borderline Christmas movies because, yeah, like we said earlier on, all the wicked ones we're not going to cover. Right. So, our next episode will be in the new year. Will be in 2025, first week
Mhm.
of January. And it is Smith's turn to nominate. So, what are we picking, Smith?
What do you think if I start reeling off cast members? I want to get your opinion on these actors.
Okay.
John Voight.
Oh, well, yeah, legend.
Yeah. Midnight Cowboy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mission
Great.
Impossible. Yeah.
Great. Yeah. 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 Owen Wilson.
I mean, yeah. Yeah. Some of his later stuff, much better than earlier stuff. Yeah. Okay.
No, no, no. Some of his early stuff's better, right? Surely it's all the old Wes Anderson stuff. He was in Bottle Rocket,
Oh,
Royal
that's true.
Tenenbaums.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. No, I like Owen Wilson.
Eric Stoltz.
Oh, I like Eric Stoltz. You know what's an underrated movie? Fly 2. Yeah.
It is underrated. Yes, I'll give you that.
Yeah.
Danny Trejo.
Oh, well, he's great in everything.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Ice Cube.
I mean, sure. Oh, he's hilarious in 21 Jump Street.
He is, he is, he is, he is. Jennifer Lopez.
Oh, I see where you're going with this. And I'm not really a fan of J-Lo. I can't really name many movies I like her in, but yeah.
Um, So yes, where we're going with this is the film that brings all of these masters of cinema together. We are going to be watching one of my favorite films from the 90s, and I hope, for the love of God, that it stands up. Anaconda.
Anaconda. You've got Jonathan Price as well.
I did forget Jonathan Price because I
Yeah.
momentarily forgot his name, despite the fact I recently saw him on stage
Oh, there you go.
playing Vincent Price. He was very
Yes.
good.
Oh, awesome. Anaconda. So that's going to be our next movie that we cover in the new year.
Mm.
Awesome. Look forward to that. I've genuinely not watched that in years. That'd be a nice trip to memory. Have we done
No, I have.
97? Oh, we did Bing. Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I've not legitimately not watching this, but I used to watch it a lot. I had it on VHS. I remember asking my dad to take me to see it at the cinema, and him saying no because it was a 15. I would have got into a 15. I just don't think he wanted to see a film called Anaconda.
Yeah. I think me and you watched it for the first time on the home rental. But anyway, we'll talk about that on the episode.
Hmm.
Cool. Right. Last bit of housekeeping before we get out of here. Just want to plug our socials. So you can reach us on email. It doesn't hold up. So again, email it doesn't hold up podcast at gmail.com. Instagram at it doesn't hold up podcast. We're on Twitter. Oh, X as it's now known, it doesn't hold up pod. We're on YouTube at it doesn't hold up podcast. We are on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and all other good places you listen to podcasts. Please give us a good review on all your podcast platforms. And remember, we do welcome all suggestions for things for us to cover. So, Smith, is there any sort of festive greeting you want to say to our viewers and listeners before we get out of here for 2024 and regroup in 2025?
Well, I'd just like to wish all of our listeners a very merry Smithmas.
And a happy stew year.